Hello friends, welcome back. So I trust in the first session of today you people really learned some very important concepts, and now I will discuss something about the statistics and the basic concepts of statistics. And as I discussed in the very beginning of my interaction with you, that since Six Sigma is a highly disciplined and data driven approach, and therefore it uses lots and lots of statistical tools, and therefore it is very important that we develop the correct proper understanding of the statistical concepts. For that, my request will be that please remain on cameras, because until unless you develop the proper understanding of these fundamental concepts of statistics, it can be challenging for us, because when we really move to the more complex topics coming from the statistics, people who have got good understanding, good command over the fundamentals will be in better position to grasp and adapt those tools. However, before we start discussing the statistical concepts, I will take you through another very important concept which I was actually supposed to cover in the first session itself, but somehow we really had a lot of interactions, so some time was lost there. That is about SIPOC. Hope you remember when we were learning the Six Sigma approach, we understood that the main deliverable of the defined phase is what? One is a approved project charter and a high level process map. These are the two deliverables that we realize that we must achieve those at the when we say that we have completed the defined phase. What is the approved project charter? The one point is that it must be approved by someone who has got the authority to approve that, which is typically the sponsor, right, or the champion. And in the project charter itself, we very clearly specify what is the problem statement, what is the business case, what is the present level of performance, where do you want to be, what are the timelines, what is the scope, who all are the team members. Yes, the 6 components of the project charter are there.
Yes, sir.
And another important aspect was SIPOC. What is the full form of SIPOC? What does it mean? It is a high level process map. It is somewhat related with some of the core tools that we are aware of, process flow diagram or process mapping. However, it is slightly different from them. It is a high level concise map. It is not capturing each and every process stage. What it is really capturing? It is capturing SIPOC. That is the full form of SIPOC. Yes. Some people, including myself, like to really look at this particular high level process approach from a different perspective, which is called COPIS. COPIS. Both of them, Manibhai, Vimal, Senthil, Prasanna, Rajendran, Tangaraj are one and the same. When we start looking at the process from the first point, starting as supplier. So from supplier, input, process, output, customer. Rather simple to visualize. That is exactly what we discussed in the opening discussion. Yes or no? We are starting with the suppliers, then come the inputs, then come the process, which converts inputs into the outputs, and those are given to the customer. Supplier, input, process, output, customer. That is SIPOC. Another way of looking at the same thing is approach known as COPIS. And I am a advocate of this approach. We must start from the customer. We must start from the customer and identify what the customer wants. And that must be our output. And for that, we must define what shall be the process. And for that, we must identify what shall be the inputs. And for those inputs, we must identify the proper, trustworthy, dependable suppliers. Yes or no? So, Ravi, can you see that? Customer, output, process, input, and supplier. Yes, both the approaches are talking of the same thing, but the starting point, the focus is different. And why I am a strong advocate of COPIS approach? Because we want our businesses, we want our consultants like you to be customer centric, customer focused. You must, yes, Ravi, please add something.
Sir, I just realized that SIPOC is the exact opposite or reverse of
Exactly,
COPIS.
exactly.
SIPOC is nothing but COPIS.
Yes, they are one and the same. They just the mirror image of the same thing. Only thing is that when we say that we are starting from the customer, so we keep our eye always on the customer,
Right.
right? And what the customer wants, what is it that will delight the customer,
Correct.
and for that we identified the. So our focus point typically is from the shifts from supplier to the customer. Our primary focus becomes the customer. But that is again a manner of saying when we draw, they will be reaching to the same kind of a diagram. But I strongly advocate that be customer centric. Always start looking at what the customer wants. Yes. Let us have a quick look at a presentation that will help you develop the proper understanding. And by the way, I have in the chat box, I have shared my LinkedIn profile address. Yes. So if you are really willing, you can connect with us. And I request you to connect with me, connect with GSK sir, connect with RK sir, connect with Vinod Sankaran sir, all our faculty. So that will not only help you remain connected, but also we keep posting lot of insightful articles, and so that will help you create not only a correct network, but also it will keep you updated. We keep posting, all of us. Follow GSK, follow RK sir, follow Vinod Shankaran ji, V Raghavan sir. There are many faculties associated with them with their excellence. Okay. So hope you are able to see the screen, and I am really very happy to share with you the concept of SIPOC. And as I just mentioned, this is a high level process map, and full form is, who will explain what is the full form? Senthil?
Supplier.
Yes.
In process.
Input. Supplier. Input. Process. Output and customer. Yes, and other approaches, COPIS, COPIS. We start from customer, output, process, input, and supplier. Yes, perfect. SIPOC diagram is used to identify all relevant elements of a process improvement project before the work begins. Hope you realize I mentioned that even before we have started to measure, even before we have started to analyze, we must have a broad overview what it is all about. Typically relates with the scope also. Yes, so typically this helps define a complex project into that may not be all that well defined, but gives us a quite a comprehensive picture of what we are which process we are attempting to solve. So typically, let us say that this is the process. The process is that of credit card processing. You are, let us say, working for a bank, and your process is processing for a credit card. Yes, can you see that? So for this process, you write down the process stages broadly in 4 or 5 or 6 stages, not more than that. Maximum stages shall be limited to 5 or 6. Okay, so you have seen that this process will involve these process stages. Can you see this bottom diagram is talking about what are the process stages. Suresh, Senthil?
Yes, sir.
Ravi, Mani, can you see that? That is why this is coming from here. Okay, so these process stages are listed here. For credit card processing, what are the process stages? Enter order, perform credit check, order for the cards, mail the confirmation letter, file the paperwork. Maybe this is your process. For this, what are the inputs for you? Signed applications. Who is giving these signed applications to you? The salesperson. Yes or no? Similarly, what is the output? The credit card. Who is the customer who gets this? A customer who has requested for the card. Yes? So this is how you prepare a SIPOC diagram. Another example. Suppose your process is making a photocopy. This will explain everything. Your process is making a photocopy. First step, Ravi, Suresh, Mani, Sant, Senthil. First step, list out process steps. 5 or 6 process steps. Not a very detailed process flow diagram or a process map or a value stream map. Yes, 5 or 6 steps. What are these? Put originals on glass, close the lid, adjust the settings, press the start button, remove the copies and the originals. Yes, these are the 5 or 6 process steps. What are the inputs? Copier machine, paper, toner, originals, electricity. There can be more operators. Yes or no? Possible. These are the inputs. And who supplies, and then what is the output? The copies. Then you find out the suppliers. These are the suppliers. Yes or no? Then who is the customer?
Yes, sir.
So now in this single sheet, now you are aware. Please look at the beauty of the whole diagram and how scientifically and how in a very simple manner we have developed. You started with your developing your understanding about the process. You listed out the various process stages. Then you also worked out that these are the inputs. Then you also worked out that these are the suppliers. Now, please just try and visualize what an effective tool this is. You now know that your process outcome can and that will depend on the quality of the machine you have, quality of paper you are using, quality and quality of the toner that you are using, the operator who is using the correct settings, or the power company, whether or not there is a fluctuation in the power supply. Can you now see that just by looking at this broad level, which is high level process map, you know that what all might be involved in your process improvement project. Yes or no? My dear friend, show me a thumbs up if you are able to grasp this concept. And in such a simple, scientific, structured manner. You identified the process, list out the 5 or 6 broad process steps, look backward, what are the inputs, look further backwards, who are the suppliers, look forward, what are the outputs, look further forward, who all are the customers, and then identify what will make the customers happy. And now you know, broadly speaking, in a holistic manner, what all is going to be involved, what are you going to deal with in this process improvement project. Because whatever, Sant, Mani, Ravanna, Tangaraj, Satish, whatever you are doing is nothing but a process improvement project. And whatever is involved in your process is there in front of you. Yes or no? And also please tell me that when you are ready with this kind of a broad overview high level process map, whether or not you are in a better position to get your project approved by the sponsor.
Definitely, sir.
Suppose Ravi is a sponsor, right? And I am a Six Sigma team leader. I go to him without any knowledge or without showing him any understanding that I have developed about the process. I say, Ravi sir, please sign this. Please approve. Whether he is less likely or more likely, as against Suresh goes to him with this SIPOC. So he says that, okay, Suresh has got a proper understanding that what he is dealing into. So it helps us not only get a proper understanding about the process, but also demonstrate to the sponsor that We have got the necessary inputs or necessary due diligence has been done, and therefore, Senthil, Aditya, Karthik, he is more likely to. Rajendran, can you see that?
Yes.
Everyone,
Yes.
Arul, Swami, Ravi, Sarth,
Yes, sir.
Sam, Ganavil, please tell me. So this is how, what is the meaning and importance of SIPOC diagram? Another example here. A different version of the same thing. Different version of the same thing. Suppose here I have listed various process stages. Yes, 5 or 6 process stages. In this version, what we have done, for every process stage, I have identified what is the input and who is the supplier, and what is the output and who is the customer. So, in this version, can you see, for every process stage I had not identified. So, this is one way of drawing a SIPOC, and this is another way of drawing a SIPOC. More or less, the broad concepts remain the same. You identify the process. Yes, can you recall all of us? I will stop share here so that I can make out. Please come on cameras. The idea is you identified that, okay, this is the process that I am attempting to improve. What is the first step here? List out 5 or 6 main process steps. Either identify inputs and supplier to each and every process stage, or identify what all are the inputs and what all are the suppliers, what all are the outputs, who all are the customers. This is your SIPOC. This again is your COPIS, and this is your HLPM, that is high level process map. Is that clear to all of you? Show me a thumbs up. People are not on camera, they can also show me a thumbs up. Now, my dear friends, this is a time when we will start developing our understanding about something which is really critical for developing, for becoming a proper